Welcome to week 8 of the Bill Nees's Coaches Show. I'm your host, Chip Hare. With us is Coach Bill Nees. And Coach, always good to get a win, and particularly when you go on the road in the league. Good win, 42-7, the Indians over Green Wave on Friday.
It was a good night for us. I think overall that we came in, had good preparation. We're a little sluggish at the beginning of the week, coming off the big rivalry game with Sydney, but I thought once we got everything rolling in the right direction, it was good for us to get a jump on Greenville. We stopped. They ran a little bit different offense than what we had prepared for, but we were able to adjust to it relatively okay. I thought our linebackers, did a nice job once we got started, dealing with the quarterback read and some of the things they did. I thought offensively we were just explosive. We ended up and had 26 plays, which didn't seem like a whole lot of plays, to score 42 points. But we just had some big bombs, and then our passing game was clicking pretty well. We didn't run a whole lot. And I think that is going to be good because I think our running backs will come in fresh, and I think they'll be ready to go for Thursday night now.
Well, you talk about jumping up. We were up 28-0, and you said we hit some bombs. Really, you said at the coaches show last week, we want to get them early. We want to send the message early so we can. We don't have to be playing, give them a feeling like they're in a game. Yeah. We want to let them know right now we're in control of the game, and we certainly were Friday night.
We were, and I think special teams wise also was important. I think we did a great job with our special teams. Our kickoff team was outstanding. Unbelievable night for Sam Herndon. He was able to have 6 solo tackles, and then also get another helmet sticker on the return team when he had a pancake block. So that was just an extraordinary night. He's going to be something that we're probably going to be able to use this film as an example, for a lot of weeks ahead to show people that what can be done if you just really put your mind to it.
Well, if you remember, he was a player of the week for the Bill Nees's Coaches Show last week on TV. Maybe we ought to just give him on more often.
Hey, we should. If he's going to do that, we'll get him every week. Hopefully we'll have some big things from these 2 guys we got on tonight.
Well, we'll talk a little bit about them here in a little bit. Passing game, though, I saw Austin Davis today just briefly, and he said he felt like that was a game where he really felt like he unleashed and felt really comfortable for the whole game.
I did. They were, a defense that hadn't played against a lot of passing offenses. And, through the course of their season, we're looking at them, and they're mostly defending the run. And then when we came out and threw the ball, it was just like, the protection was good. The underneath coverage was not great for them. And as a result, we just got behind them the one time. And then from that point on, we just caught momentum. It wasn't necessarily that Greenville was doing anything bad. It was the fact that we were just executing and clicking. There's a lot of times that we've called plays, it's open, it's this, and you can't get the ball there, or the defense changed the coverage. This was a case where everything was just working well.
The Indians go in 4-3, get ready for week 8 for Butler, Thursday Night Lights. Before we talk about that, though, I think we've talked in previous years about week 6 and 7. You're in the middle of the year, you're in that grind, so to speak, and coming off a big rivalry game with, like you talked about, Sydney, going on the road to Greenville. Now you got to turn it again with another different kind of a challenge with preparation playing on a Thursday night instead of a Friday night, being the only game in town. But what a podium we'll be on Thursday night.
I think it will be. I think, as we go into this thing, we've kind of whipped around and struggled a little bit. Like I said, with last week's stuff and now this week's stuff, we came in. We're fortunate that school allowed us to practice on Sunday, so we're coming in. We got a good work session yesterday, probably one of our best practices. We had a great practice again today, so we're able to get in the weight room and keep our mindset of those days that are building up to the game. So I think that was important. Football is just so routine, so ritualistic, probably more than any other sport, and I think that was something that's going to help us this week.
Let's talk about the week. I mean, you talk about Sunday, so we back everything up a day. Is that?
Yeah, back everything up a day. The only thing that didn't get backed up is usually the coaches have 2 days to prepare the game plan.
Right.
In terms of grading, number one, we grade. We're probably one of the few coaching staffs that grade everybody. Every one of our players gets a grade for every play they played by their position coach. And so we post those grades, and then based on those grades, based on performances, that's how we give our helmet decals. So it usually takes us 2 days to be able to get the thing graded, and then also break down films of the coming team. And then on Monday, we come in, we have heavy weight room. a lot of conditioning, a lot of our own, take care of ourselves, take care of our injuries, make sure we're staying in shape, make sure we're taking care of bumps and bruises, and getting all the nuts and bolts taken on Monday. Then Tuesday and Wednesday we devote one to offense, one to defense. Thursday it's a mixture of everything, shorter practice, and then we play Friday. So this week we had Monday became Sunday, and everything was gone good. The only problem was the coaches didn't have those 2 days.
Right.
Those 2 days became 1 day, so we were watching film at one point on Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning, then practicing, then in the weight room, and then back watching film again, that evening. So that was, I think it was a lot, it was a decent amount of stress on the coaches, but they understand.
The Indians will take on another formidable foe, and one that has always been a tough game for us, coming off a win last year at Butler. This time we host them on Thursday night. The Butler Aviators, a very formidable opponent.
Oh, they are. And I told at our team meeting on Sunday night, I emphasized to our players, I said, these next 3 weeks, these games are everybody's a great team. Everybody's a great team, from Vandalia to Tip to Troy. I said it's going to come down a lot of times to what team shows up for the game, in terms of you got injuries, you've got this, and you got this. So there's always a lot of variables going on. Mm-hmm. I don't think people get sometimes the one kid gets hurt on a high school football team, and that affects maybe 2 or 3 different other positions. And if that happens to somebody, you've got to decide what you're going to do. Put a new guy in, take a guy that's experienced, put him in here, and how are you going to fill that void? So I think that's going to be key for these next 3 weeks, and especially with Vandalia and Butler coming in. They're an outstanding football team. When we got a chance to watch them on film, they've got some great athletes. They played a very close game with us last year, and so we understand. We've had a huge, I don't want to say rivalry with them, but we've had some great games with them, dating clear back to the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Back when we were going back and forth in the playoffs and stuff.
What are we going to expect to see? I know they're very athletic. I know they got some wideouts that are very athletic. Who would you compare them to what we've seen this year?
I would say nobody, because it's a little different mindset. It's maybe they like the Greenville. It's a two-back attack most of the time, but they've got that unique sprint draw that they brought back from 2000, 2001, back in the day. So they've got the sprint draw action, and then obviously the wide side of the field passing action, which has always been Steve Pelfrey, those guys, and
Right.
their new coach has been associated with those guys. So it's all part of that family. But then they also have a trips package, and they also have a 2x2 package, which is pretty good. And they use an H-back a little bit more that they didn't do back in the day. So they've got a little bit of mix there. And then defensively, Eric Gillespie is a great friend of ours for a long time, has came in as their defensive coordinator. And so he's got a million blitzes, a million coverages, and he's been around for a long time. So we got our hands full on both sides of the ball.
You're going to see a lot on both sides of the ball. I know for Piqua, looking to get to 5-3 on a Thursday night, which will be live on TV. But we also want everybody to come out to the game and see it kick off at 7 o'clock. Coach, real quick, let's talk about our Spotlight Seniors of the Week. Cale Maxtroth. Talk a little bit about Cale.
Cale Maxtroth, what a guy in terms of last year went through some hip surgery, had always had great potential, and we were able to get him in as a youngster, and then he had the hip surgery, and it was a pretty big deal. And came back from it and has just embedded himself into our offense. Everybody talks about the Davis to Shrub combination, but I think Maxtroth is really
some big plays this year.
A great compliment to that whole deal, in terms of the fact that he can catch the ball and he's hard to tackle. And he catches the ball and gets some yardage. He's also our long snapper, which one of those unsung things. And since Holden Yount broke his hand, he's taken over all those long snapping, not only the long but the short. And he runs down on every one of our kick teams. So he's on our kickoff team. Had a great play Friday night. Snapped the ball, ran downfield. We punted the ball 43 yards. Guy caught it. He tackled him immediately. So it was an outstanding play. So he's enjoying. He's a guy that I really like to talk about, because he paid his dues, worked his way through the system, and he's enjoying an all GWAC and all league senior year for him.
Well, you think about, and I know we like to talk, there's a lot of people talk about Davis and Shrub, but there have been some key points of the game in big games this year where he comes up with some big catches and big plays.
He has, and like I said, he has done everything we asked. He's also our second safety. You know, if we run our nickel package, he's also part of that deal. So he's done about everything he possibly can for us.
Now, Coach, I'm going to ask you to say who our second spotlight players and make sure I get it pronounced correctly.
It's Raj Patel.
Raj Patel. Talk a little bit about Raj. A little different flair than Maxtroff, but yet another solid one.
Yeah. Well, I met Raj last year. He was in my college prep U.S. history class, and it's a sophomore class. And he had moved here, and he had to take a history class. So he was in my class, got to know him, really good kid, nice kid. And one day in the middle of the winter, he said, hey, I'd be interested in playing football. I've never played before. Is there any way I can get involved? I said, yeah, come on up to the weight room. So he came up to the weight room and, really developed some strength.
Actually a strong kid anyway.
Yeah, and, just kind of kept building into the system. And then summer hit, and which is a lot of the running. And he said, I still like this. It's all right. 'Cause I was thinking, I didn't know if Rogers was going to get into the whole thing, but he very much enjoyed it. The biggest problem with him is the fact he's never played before. So being what I didn't realize was that he was a senior. Right. I thought, being in a sophomore class, he was a sophomore, and then I realized he was a senior. But he's played JVs for us this year and really enjoys himself. He's got into 4 games this year. We've had a couple games where we were able to get the subs in. So he's been in some games, and he's again one of those guys, loves every minute of it, never misses, is always here, and just loves the atmosphere.
Well, one thing I get from him is the kids really enjoy him. The guys really enjoy being around him.
Nice guy. He's a nice kid. Nice guy.
He takes it in, and like you said, he understands his role and just enjoys the experience overall. We got to have guys like that.
Yeah, he does. He's a guy that comes out on Saturdays and plays hard JV football, and he's back on Monday ready to go.
Well, speaking of back ready to go, we're going to talk to both Raj and also Mr. Cale Mextroff here on the second half of the Bill Nees Coaches Show. Just a reminder, on Thursday night here, live on television, but also live here at Alexander Stadium, kickoff at 7 o'clock, Butler and Piqua in a important GWAC North contest. Coach, thanks for being with us, and we'll look forward to another win on Thursday.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be back with Cale and also Raj. Welcome to the second half of the Bill Nees Coaches Show. I'm your host, Chip Hare. With me are our senior highlights. I'm going to let them introduce themselves and also the positions they play.
Cale Maxtroff, wide receiver.
Raj Patel, outside linebacker.
Talk a little bit about guys. Cale, if you wouldn't mind, here your senior year, you're coming back. Team had a big win against Greenville. Have had some really tough losses against top-ranked teams in the state. How's it feel for you knowing you're going into your last 3 games, obviously coming off a big win with Greenville?
It feels good. It feels confident that we will be able to win. Though 3 out, hopefully we'll make the playoffs with it.
Yeah. Winning on the road is special too. We talked about that with Coach Nees. Winning at home is nice, but being able to go on a bus, going and getting one on the road. You probably don't remember this, but Greenville's been a difficult place for the Indians traditionally. To go there and to nominate them the way we did, certainly I think is a good reflection of where we are as a team. We are still bought in 100%.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, one thing we want to talk about you, your senior year. A little bit about what your expectations and what were your goals, not just team-wise, but maybe individually as well.
Goals to make the playoffs and have a good senior year. Get the ball under me a little more and do better blocking on my part so our team could do better.
Well, one of the things that Coach talked about was your abilities to make big plays and how tough you are physically and mentally. Talk a little bit about your relationship with coaches, and not just Coach Nees, but the other coaches, how they've really kind of helped develop you.
Yeah, I definitely got a lot better this year, and all the coaches helped me do it, and they helped me practice that way I can get better too.
If you have to talk about one game or one particular play this year that stands out to you, because I can think of a lot of key plays, and you made some big catches this year. Is there one particular game or play that you've really enjoyed playing in so far?
Probably the very first game Matterdale, I had a 50-yard touchdown.
That was big. That was really big, yeah. Nice to play down in Dayton, and it was a nice way to get the first win of the season.
Yeah, it felt good.
Raj, we're going to move to you a little bit. Your story is a little different. Kale's been a part of the program for several years. You just kind of got to Piqua last year, and this is your first year. So tell us a little bit about how you got to Piqua and what your experience has been like here as a football player for the Indians.
I love playing with this team because it's like they're very helpful and it's amazing. So yeah, and then
How'd you get to Piqua? Where'd you come from? How were we so fortunate to get you to be part of the Indian Nation?
I just wanted to experience the football, how you guys do stuff, like how the coaches do it,
And you like it?
yeah, I like it.
You know, it's not too much. Coach Nees is okay?
Yeah, he's okay.
Well, Coach Nees had mentioned you were in his class last year, and you decided you wanted to play football, and you went through the summer conditioning, and you thought, he says, usually that's when people kind of not like that so much, but you really were into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for you, high school football is new experience for you. What's it been like to go and play in front of such a great crowd like we have here at Piqua?
It's been great. Like, best experience was when I got my first tackle.
Talk a little bit about what game was that, and what was the situation? You remember?
It was in the scrimmage of Lima seniors, so, and it was a great experience for me. to
Like
get
the
first-
physicality
yeah.
and get that first hit.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about where we're going to be next year. Obviously, you're graduating. What are some of your plans once you graduate?
I plan on going to the Career Center and taking the Power Linesman School.
That program, I could name a number of guys that have gone through there, who former athletes and former coaches of Piqua that have gone through that program. Really great opportunities for you once you graduate.
Yeah, I believe it is. That's why I picked that field to go in. My brother did it, so it seemed fun for him, so I do it too.
Yeah, well, hey, that's a like brother, like another brother, right? It's in the
Right.
keeping in the family. Raj, what about you? You'll be coming up here, graduation next year. What are some ideas and thoughts that you might be at?
I might go to Edison for 2 years, then transfer to Toledo for engineering.
Well, Edison's a great school, and obviously you won't have far to go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to keep these guys local here, which is great. We like to keep our Indians in town, and it's good to see that they're going to continue to make contributions on this team, but also to our community in the future. Guys, thanks for being with us tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, guys. Just remember again, the coaches, Bill Coach's Nees show will be aired again next week, right before the game on Monday night, which will be delayed on Channel 5. Kickoff on Thursday Night Lights, Spectrum 995, live on TV, but you can see it for yourself at Alexander Stadium. It will be senior night. We will honor these guys and all their other teammates. So it'll be a great night, Thursday Night Lights at Alexander Stadium, kickoff at 7 o'clock. For Raj and Kale, I am Chip Hare. We will see you next week on the Bill Nees Coaches Show.